This podcast deals with issues about LGBT families and trans-specific topics. We would love to hear from you and welcome your questions and comments. However, we will not tolerate any discriminatory language or hate speech, so please, just don't do it. Enjoy the show.
People's faces.
But, there's a lot of misunderstanding and misinformation about what it means to be trans, what your life will be like, what it all means. And I think ultimately, like, the goal of why we're doing this is to try to demystify some of the trans experience. Now, do I speak for every trans person in the world? Absolutely not. No.
Because they don't pay us to.
Exactly. But not every trans experience is the same.
When we were kids, we met at camp.
After college, we got married.
10 years later, we finally had a baby.
That same year, I came out as trans.
This is the story of our journey.
Through marriage,
Parenting.
gender.
And all the changes that life brings.
This is
Our
Life in Transition. I think we're ready to go.
I think we are.
We have the official popcorn. I've got coffee.
I've got Coke. Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola? Yeah.
Yes.
It's not that kind of a podcast.
Coca-Cola is not our sponsor, but if you'd like to be, I'm down with that.
I mean, yeah, I'll take corporate money. What the hell?
I have no scruples as far as that's concerned. If somebody pays me, I'm going to tell you.
I don't want to do anything in particular. I just want them to give me money. Yeah. Anyway.
I'll take free product.
Oh, free Coke?
A cola.
Anyway. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Thank you for tuning in. My name is Shannon.
And I am Rachel.
And this is another delightful episode of
Our Life in Transition.
Welcome back to Season 2.
We made it to Season 2.
We made it to Season 2.
We followed through.
Yeah, we did.
didn't quit.
We said we'd be back.
And we are.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, but so it's been a little while. The last time was before Christmas. Was it before Thanksgiving?
I think it was before Thanksgiving. I think it was like right around Thanksgiving.
It's been a while. We haven't had an episode since the last decade. It's been a minute. Don't make that face at me.
But seriously, folks, the holidays, they are tough.
Yeah.
They are super difficult to do anything.
Yeah, no.
And especially when you have a 2-year-old. Like, forget it.
A 2-year-old who is just exponentially evolving. She's getting crazy smart and throwing out like weird complex thoughts and talking to us, chattering nonstop.
Repeating everything.
Everything. Some things she shouldn't repeat.
And Miranda is here
Yep.
as well.
Of
Little
course.
doggy.
Well, there's popcorn, though.
Putting her 2 cents in.
Uh-huh. Hi, puppy. She's like, yeah, whatever, popcorn. Anyway.
It's kind of hard getting back into stuff. It's like when you're on vacation from, work.
Yeah.
Not that this is work, but like, you have to do something. And like you're on vacation and it's just kind of staring at you and you're like, do I want to? Should I? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
So we finally kicked our butts into gear.
Basically, it's like, you come back from summer vacation, it's like, I'm excited to see all my friends, but I don't want to do homework. So, I'm not going to lie. There was probably 1 or 2 days in the middle of the holidays where we're like, are we going to come back? Should we come back? Is it worth coming back? Does anybody care?
Is anybody there? Does anybody care? Yes, we had some John Adams moments.
Yes, call it to all of the theater people.
Oh.
But Yeah, so in the midst of the holidays, we had some interesting communications drop in our lap. And so, I mean, after that, we kind of had to come back.
Yeah,
so
we're back.
Do you want to explain what happened, and I'll bring up the materials for us to discuss.
Explain what happened.
Yeah, explain what happened. You do it.
One day, I logged onto our Gmail.
Ooh, Gmail.
And there, in the inbox, was a letter.
Ooh.
From a listener.
Mm-hmm.
And I say letter, and I mean email, because nobody writes letters anymore. It was an email.
Yeah.
But it was a very nicely composed, nicely written email. And we read it. I read it. And then I said, "Oh my God, Shannon, you have to read this." And I read it to her because I wouldn't let her read it because I wanted to get the full reaction out of her. And I read it. We're like, "Oh my God, this is so special." Yeah, and then we cried and
so
got all excited.
Okay, so I guess I'll read a little bit of this just to give you an idea of what we found in our inbox the one day.
No identifying information.
No. Okay, so to our listener, you know who you are, and you'll know by your email. But so it starts off, and they introduce themselves, and they say they're very nervous, but they just wanted to say thank you. They wrote, I've struggled since early teens with sometimes intense dysphoria. Then as I grew older and married and had children, I thought I was free of this oppressing feeling, and something was drastically wrong with me. About 2 years ago, I reached a nearly dramatic personal low. It was becoming more obvious to me that I was transgender, but the fear of losing everything, my wife, my kids, my job, it made it worse. Nearly terminally worse. So I hid it all away, no dressing when alone, nothing. So I recognized I needed to take better care of myself and started eating healthy and working out. The problem was my body was very masculine. That's when I started hating myself. So, I mean, this is how it started, and I'm just like, what?
Intense.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little intense. I'm like, what's going on? This is, it's a lot, and we haven't gotten a lot of communications from listeners, so the fact that somebody was reaching out, to tell us this was unexpected, but
very special. Very special.
But so then they wrote, that's also when I found your podcast, specifically the episode Not Broken Anymore,
which was episode 2.
No, it was a
3.
I forget what.
I don't know. It was when we were talking about Pride.
Yeah, it was right after Pride. It was right after I went to Philly Pride and was explaining what my one friend had said to me about how when she realized that she was ace, how suddenly there was a word to describe her, how she felt, and she was so happy that she didn't feel broken anymore, and that's exactly how it felt to me when I realized that I was trans and what was going on with me. So they wrote, it to me felt like you were reading my life story. All of the thoughts, the guilt, shame, fear, all of it. I've listened to that episode 5 times, and I'm always crying around 20 minutes in. So that's when I faced my fears. It was not easy for me, but then I talked to my wife. I shook and cried, waiting
for her to run screaming.
Yeah. Which we talk about a lot. That's what everybody expects.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And she didn't. I believe her exact words were, quote, "So what is the extreme result? You will still be my blank, but in a different container and happier. And I'm not running away." So then they kind of wrapped up. Just they wrote, about kind of the next few steps that they're taking, and they said that I can do this because of the support from my wife and my kids. but I never would have discovered that support if it wasn't for you putting your stories out there. If nothing else, you've helped me in ways I don't have character space to type. Thank you for my entire being. I appreciate both of you for who you are and will always be indebted to both of you. My wife is 100% supportive, but needs support too, and so I'll be showing her this podcast as well this weekend. And then they put a little PS, and then said that after discussing their dysphoria with their daughter and their desire to transition, that their teenage daughter told them that she has a crush on a girl at school, and the girl likes her back. So they wrote that we've helped at least 2 people in their households. So that's a lot.
Oh my god! And you can see, you can hear why we were just blown away. Because we're like sitting here in the office munching on popcorn and just kind of talking, and there are actually people listening on the other end, and like it's making a difference. So
so it's one of those things where when we started recording this, we started putting episodes out. We hoped that people would listen, it would be helpful, but it to be frank, for a large part we weren't even sure who was listening. It seemed we could see numbers, some people were listening, we didn't know who.
Is anybody there?
Well, somebody cares. And just we're glad that we could help in whatever way we could. But
and so we got this email, and then we sat down and we said, well, now we have to come back.
Yeah.
We have to.
Yeah. So here we are.
Thanks again for listening to the show.
If you like what you hear so far, subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, be sure to share with your friends and family so they can enjoy as well.
This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support.
But so I mean, and that kind of that response, the what they were saying our podcast was able to do is kind of what I was hoping for when we started recording this. I wasn't sure if we would be able to help anybody, if it would have any impact. I just know that, for me, the reason I said, hey, we should start doing this is when I was in the midst of my confusion over my dysphoria, when I first started looking up what was going on with me, I found a lot of people online. I found a lot of YouTube videos. There's a lot of podcasts out there besides ours, but I mean, ours is fantastic, so you should listen to us, and maybe not them, but you can listen to them too. It's fine.
It's not a competition.
It's not a competition. It's not a zero-sum game.
That's right.
Yes.
You have all the hours. Listen to everybody.
Exactly. But it's, it helped me get to a place of going, okay, I'm not alone. There's other people that are feeling the same thing, going through the same thing as me. I can't tell you how many times I've been listening to one of the other trans-specific or trans-related or LGBT podcasts out there that they said something, and I'm just nodding my head along, driving in the car. I'm like, yep, that's how it is.
Yeah, don't name them. They haven't paid us. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Kind of. Oh, you are? What?
Kind of. But if you want to shout out on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what there's a Patreon for. But so, I mean, and on top of that, like, and there's a couple other ones out there where there's people that, are couples, and we've talked about this a little bit before, where everybody expected Rachel to just run the frick away. That you were just going to up and leave and go, oh, we're not doing this. And
I'm too lazy for that shit. I haven't run in years. Just sitting here on my butt eating popcorn, drinking Coke.
Why are you talking like that?
I don't know.
That's not how you... What is that voice?
It's my lazy sitting on my butt eating popcorn voice.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anyway.
That escalated quickly.
I am not going anywhere.
And yeah, so I mean, I think one of the main things that kind of drove us to do this was we wanted other people out there to know, like, your marriage isn't doomed, necessarily. You know,
because of this.
Because of this. I mean, you know, caveat, your mileage may vary, but, you know, just because you're trans, just because one of the people in your relationship may have dysphoria, may have something else going on, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's
not automatic divorce town.
Yeah. The and unfortunately sometimes, you know, it doesn't work out between people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you should try to hide in order to save your marriage.
Because it's not going to save your marriage.
It's not.
Because if you're unhappy and miserable, eventually it's going to come out one way or the other, whether it comes out because of you coming out, or whether it comes out, you know, in 1,000 little microaggressions because you can't come out and you resent it, or, you know, you're just miserable and unhappy and not comfortable in your own skin, and, like, that's going to take its toll.
Yeah. And you said before that, like, before I actually came out, you were like, what the fuck is going on with you? Like, you are not in a good place.
She was insufferable.
Yeah, well, I'm still insufferable.
For a year or more. Insufferable.
Would you like to expand on that, or are you just going to leave that?
Insufferable. Insufferable.
No, you suffered. I'm sorry.
No, just...
I was miserable. I'm sorry.
But, yeah, like... But... You know... Whenever you... Communication is key in any marriage.
Yes.
So if one person is hiding something, whether it's about being trans or having an affair or spending money on something that they shouldn't, or whatever, it's going to take a toll. And it's always better to, like, be out and open about to be communicating about what's going on with you.
Yeah.
Because, you know, your partner does not have a crystal ball.
No. Unless they're a fortune teller.
Even so, I doubt their crystal ball is really that good.
Not calibrated properly.
But so if you're not communicating with your partner, then your marriage is doomed.
Yeah.
And whether you're trans or not is not the point. Like,
yeah, if your marriage is unhealthy, then this probably will not be a helpful thing. But your marriage is unhealthy to begin with, and there's going to be something, whether it is this or not, that's going to wind up causing an issue.
And if your marriage is healthy, that doesn't necessarily also mean that it's going to survive.
True.
You know, you guys might find that, you know, being friends is better. You might, you know, you might have a period of time where your partner is grieving
Mm-hmm.
the transition, the change, the loss of the person that they thought they knew.
And to be fair, you had that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You did. And we had a couple conversations where, like, you were, like, really, like, and, like, in tears, like, upset, like, where, I don't know if I would say, like, this isn't what you signed up for, but, like, you had, like, a real fear that the person that I was, the person that you knew, the person that you fell in love with was going to disappear.
The person that I fell in love with has not disappeared.
No, I'm still an insufferable asshole.
It's true. She is. She just added a pickle craving.
Pickle craving and boobs. See, now I want pickles again. God damn it. It always comes back to this. Here's the thing.
It's the pickle madness.
Here's the thing about the pickle madness is I have intense pickle cravings. I had some pickles last night. But then, like, I'll be fine. It won't be front of mind. And then you'll bring it up. And now I'm sitting here, I'm like, this popcorn's great, but I need pickles now.
Normal people can talk about pickles without, like, needing to have pickles.
Well, as we've established, I'm not normal people, Rachel, so...
I feel like I need to call Recovery Centers of America, also not a sponsor, and ask them if they had some kind of program for the pickle madness.
Oh, that was probably really loud. I think I just blew everybody's ears out the way I laughed. I'm sorry. We have 2 microphones now, which you may have seen in our Instagram post. We got new equipment, so it's just nice. So we don't have to shove our faces next to each other to try to share the one microphone. Although, I mean, it was nice. It was close and cuddly, but no, you're further away.
It wasn't nice if she hadn't brushed her teeth.
That's true. If I just had the pickles, yeah, absolutely. Like, it's a little bit too much.
Yeah, pickle breath in your face.
I use mincing gum and brush my teeth. Anyway, moving
I think we've
on.
gotten off track.
Us?
So here's
No.
So here's the thing. The point of this is, we started doing this because we wanted to show that you can have a healthy working relationship and that you're not doomed because you're trans or because your partner is trans.
And, I mean, and here's the thing. Like, do we have fights sometimes? Yeah.
A lot.
We're a couple. Everybody does.
Intense fights.
Yes.
Names are called. Pickle madness is thrown in people's faces.
But, there's a lot of misunderstanding and misinformation about what it means to be trans, what your life will be like, what it all means, and I think ultimately, like, the goal of why we're doing this is to try to demystify some of the trans experience. Now, do I speak for every trans person in the world? Absolutely not. No.
Because they don't pay us to.
Exactly. But not every trans experience is the same, but a lot of what is kind of
there are not other
thrown
people
out there. The information that's out there, there is a lot of it is crap, and
there are enough other people who have similar experiences.
Yes.
We can speak
probably.
to unexperienced.
Yes.
We're not saying that we have the trans experience.
I don't know.
We have a trans experience.
I think ours is pretty good, but I'll leave that up to history.
Really? History? And so modest.
That's me. What happened?
One of the handles broke off of the
Oh,
box.
yeah. Yeah.
Did you break something of mine and not tell me? And here comes the fight.
Oh, well, I broke something of ours. It was old, and I went to move it, and it just snapped off because it was frail. And what?
Oh, would that it were that easy.
Listen, if yeah. Yes. Oh god, yes. Anyway,
the point is, we're trying to tell you why we decided to do this, and what makes it worth doing, and why we decided to come back.
yeah.
And I think the whole point of all of it is that,
Pay us? Are you mad at me, or are you just having like an intense burp right now? What is happening?
I did just burp, but no, I'm mad at you for interrupting me.
Sorry.
Because you made my choo-choo go off the track. Okay,
The whole point of this?
the whole point of this is, like,
I gotcha.
when Shannon came out, and we got all of these myriad reactions from people
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that. I don't know what I was expecting,
Mm-hmm.
but I was not expecting the
Confusion?
the confusion.
Mhm.
I was not expecting the confusion. Well, like, where's Rachel going then? You know, because clearly that's not a thing that can happen. And then,
Stupid bitch burnt the house down. Like, no, the house is still here. What are you talking about?
and what about your child? She's still alive. She's breathing. What about her? Like, and my favorite. How could she do this?
How could he do this?
Well,
right.
yes. How could he do this
Uh-huh.
to you?
Yeah.
People were outraged on my behalf.
Yes. It's not outrage unless there's a misgendering involved.
You're right.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
And along with that, well, there was like this, well, you know, can't he just choose to ignore it? Like, won't it just go away?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's not the flu. Like, dysphoria is not the flu.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a vaccine for it, or...
Take some vitamin C and rest up for a couple days. You'll be fine. Get some chicken soup. No, sorry.
No, it's more like take a bottle of whiskey every day for the rest of your life so that you can, like, suffer through it, you know.
And that's what a lot of people do. And then they have short lives. So, and honestly, and that's what it boils down to, is, and I had this conversation with somebody not that long ago, that, you know, the reason I came out is because I wanted to live. And if I didn't, I wasn't going to. So, I maybe it seems selfish to some people, but I chose my own survival and well-being over the meme that I posted yesterday. There's two human figures sitting at a table. One of them says growth, the other one says comfort, and growth just looks comfort in the face and says, I'm sorry, but this isn't going to work out. And I couldn't move on. I couldn't.
I don't know, it was pretty damn comfortable.
Yeah, but, you know.
Just dragged me right the hell out of my comfort zone.
Sorry.
Now I'm doing podcasts and shit.
Mm-hmm. Doing podcasts. I mean, hey, there's popcorn. Accommodations have been made.
It's a little comfortable.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. So.
It's the middle of the afternoon. I can't have a beer, so.
You can have a beer. I'm driving.
It's been a long week at work.
Yeah.
If I have a beer, I'll be asleep.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So, hopefully, moving forward, we can do a little more to illuminate some of the confusing issues around what it means to be trans, what it means to be a couple with a trans partner, and
But here's the thing, people.
Uh-huh.
Write us emails and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, like, we got one email and we've gushed on it for an entire episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay? You guys could be famous.
Yeah.
You know? Just so, you know.
It brackets it in the podcast world, specifically trans-related podcast, amongst listeners who listen to this particular podcast. But famous nonetheless.
Well, you were just talking about history a second ago, so, I mean, you got big plans for this podcast, I guess.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Still looking for that sponsor.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Bueller?
Yep. That was gross.
That was gross.
Sorry.
Intensely loud sniffing. I promise you I'm drinking Coca-Cola. Nobody here is snorting Coke.
I'm sorry, I got a cold. I have a cold. That's sad. See, Disney, we just quoted your Frozen shorts. Give us money.
Don't say that, they'll sue us.
I'll cut this part out. Anyway. But yeah, so we're back. And we hope that you all come back. Please come back and listen to this podcast. I hope that we don't put this out there. Nobody listens to us anymore because we were gone away for a couple months. Please, please.
We promise that we have an exciting season ahead.
Yeah.
There might be fireworks. Who knows?
I like fireworks. This is news to me. I'm very excited now. Okay.
You don't know everything I do.
You're right.
And this is why we don't have a healthy marriage.
I thought we established we do have our health. What is happening? We're really sending these people mixed signals. Like, is this working out? Is this not working out? I don't know. They said it was fine.
You've sent people mixed signals for 35 years.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, everybody was like, clearly this person's gay when I was like a kid. Like, oh, this is the gayest kid ever. And then you came around and they're like, what the fuck is happening? And then I was like, oh, no, actually I'm a girl. And they're like, oh, that makes sense. Okay.
We knew there was something wrong with her.
Something wrong. Okay. Yeah, okay. Fine. And Rachel, what are you doing now? Staying put? Now we're confused again. Okay.
We are puzzled.
Yeah. We were awake, but we were very puzzled. So, we need to finish this popcorn. We need to go get the munchkin. I apologize if this entire podcast, it sounded like we're in the middle of like a war zone or something like that, or we're on an airplane, because it's really windy outside, and we live on an island.
I haven't noticed any of it, but to be honest, all I can hear is me crunching on popcorn, so.
Ow, I just ran my face into the microphone.
That's what happens when you become a smartass.
Mm-hmm. See, I can't have my own microphone. I need you to protect me. Okay.
Anyway, we thank you very much for listening. Welcome back.
Yes.
We promise we won't stay away for a long time again. We will be regular episoding people.
Yeah.
Regularly putting out episodes. I don't know. Episoding isn't a verb, but...
Listen, Rachel. It's not a word yet, but all words are made up. Be a pioneer.
Okay, we will do regular episoding.
Yes. So,
But reach out, because we want to hear your thoughts. We want to,
100%.
Give us some ideas. Some things you want to know about. Some things you want us to stop talking about. If you're totally sick of pickle madness, too bad, because that's life with a trans person. But
it'd be really funny if somebody sent us an email. Can you stop talking about all this trans shit? Jesus Christ. This is really crazy. Like, I'm here for marriage stuff and stuff about kids. What is all this trans nonsense?
I refer you to episode 1.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Anyway. So, I think we're done.
So, I am Rachel.
And I am Shannon.
This has been Our Life in Transition. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you again for listening to Our Life in Transition.
This show is hosted by Rachel and Shannon McDill.
Our producer and editor is Shannon McDill.
Theme music is Seize the Day by Jens Kiilstofte. Check him out at jens.kiilstofte.net.
Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/olitpod. That's /OLITPOD.
Your support makes this show possible. Thank you.